Anna's expression hardened as she flipped through the documents. Each page revealed another name, people she'd seen at barbecues, school fundraisers, even church. Every one of them tied to property scams under Karen's HOA. "They've been flipping land illegally," the officer said quietly, "using the HOA as cover, fake fines, forced foreclosures, reselling at double the value." I felt a chill crawl up my neck. "So Karen was just the face," I muttered. He nodded. "Exactly, the real money's higher up." Anna closed the folder and took a slow breath. "Then it's time to go higher up." That night she sat at her desk with her laptop open, typing a report straight to the state attorney's office. I watched her hands move with calm precision, no anger, no fear, just purpose. "You think they'll come after us?" I asked. She didn't look up. "They already have," she said. "They just didn't know who they were dealing with." The next morning, we woke to find two black SUVs parked near our driveway. Karen's arrest had made local headlines, HOA president exposed by local judge, but the people behind her weren't celebrating. Anna stepped outside, holding her coffee like she owned the world. One of the men approached, suit, sunglasses, slick hair. "Judge Myers," he said smoothly, "we'd like to discuss those files you took, privately." Anna smiled faintly. "Of course. Should I meet you at the courthouse, or would you prefer to make this conversation part of a recorded statement?" His jaw tightened. "That won't be necessary." "Then we're done," she said, turning back toward the house. Before he could respond, another car pulled up, this time a marked federal vehicle. The same officer from before stepped out, flashing a badge. "Funny seeing you here," he said to the suited man. "We've been looking for you." The agent's confident smirk faltered. Anna crossed her arms. "Looks like we're all in the right place then." As the feds began questioning the men, I looked at Anna and couldn't help but smile. "You set this up, didn't you?" She took a slow sip of her coffee. "I just made a few calls." But deep down, I knew this wasn't the end, because as one corrupt door closed, another one was just starting to open. And Anna, she was ready to kick it down. By evening, our quiet street had turned into a full-blown investigation zone. Federal agents combed through the HOA office, hauling out boxes of files, hard drives, and even bags of cash. Neighbors peeked from their windows, whispering like it was a live TV drama. One by one, board members were escorted out, Jeff, Linda, even the realtor who sold half the neighborhood. Every face told the same story: guilt, fear, and disbelief that their little side project had just blown up in front of the entire community. I stood by the fence watching it all, but Anna was already steps ahead. She wasn't celebrating, she was thinking. "Something's missing," she murmured, flipping through a copy of the seized ledgers an agent had handed her for review. I frowned. "What do you mean, they've got everyone?" "No," she said softly, "not everyone. Look here." She pointed to a recurring transaction label, LLC Transfer 7A. The amounts were massive, millions each time, and every payment led to the same destination, a development company downtown. "Greenfield Properties," she whispered. "They're the ones behind all of this." "Never heard of them," I said. She nodded. "They're not supposed to exist." Before I could ask what that meant, her phone buzzed. A blocked number. She hesitated, then answered. A calm, deep voice came through. "Judge Myers," it said, "you've been busy. I suggest you stop looking into Greenfield if you want your family safe." Her hand tightened around the phone. "Who is this?" The line went dead. I stepped closer. "Anna, what did they say?" She looked up at me, eyes sharper than ever. "They just confirmed we're on the right track." The next morning she was already dressed, briefcase in hand. "Where are you going?" I asked. "To the courthouse," she said, "and then to the state investigator. I'm not backing down." I started to protest, but she stopped me with a small smile. "They wanted to scare me," she said, "but they forgot something." "What's that?" Her expression turned fierce. "I don't scare easily, not on my land, not in my country." And as she drove away, I realized this wasn't just about an HOA anymore. It was about power, truth, and a woman who was done letting people like Karen and her friends control the law. But what we didn't know then was that Greenfield Properties had already set their own trap, and Anna was walking right into it. The courthouse felt different that morning, quieter, heavier. Even the guards at the entrance greeted Anna with tense nods like they knew something she didn't. She walked straight through security, her heels echoing against the marble floor, determination in every step. Upstairs, the state investigator, a gruff man named Dawson, was waiting. "Judge Myers," he said, gesturing her in, "I've read your report. Impressive work, but this Greenfield thing goes way beyond county fraud." Anna sat down, folding her hands. "How far up does it go?" Dawson hesitated. "Federal contracts, land deals linked to state officials, and Karen, she was their cleanup. Anyone who questioned the HOA's legitimacy got fined, harassed, or pushed out." Anna's eyes narrowed. "So they built a fake system to control real land." "Exactly, you've been their biggest problem since the day you moved here." Before Dawson could say more, the lights flickered. The power cut out for 2 seconds, then came back on. He glanced toward the window, uneasy. "They know we're digging." Anna stayed calm. "Then let's dig faster." Back home, I was packing by the window when I saw a black sedan parked 2 houses down, same type as before. 2 men inside, pretending to check their phones but never looking away from our house. I grabbed my phone and called Anna. "They're here again," I said, watching. "Don't do anything," she replied quietly, "just lock the doors." "What about you?" She paused. "I'm about to meet the man running Greenfield." My stomach dropped. "Anna, that's insane. I need to end this before it gets bigger." Her voice softened. "Trust me." Hours later, dusk settled over the city. Anna arrived at a sleek glass tower downtown, Greenfield's corporate headquarters. The receptionist barely looked up as she walked in, flashing her ID. "Judge Myers, appointment with Mr. Hale," she said. The woman's fingers froze mid-type. "He's expecting you," she said nervously. Upstairs, in an office that looked more like a fortress, a man in an expensive suit stood by the window, looking over the city. "Judge Myers," he said, turning slowly, "you've made quite the mess." Anna didn't flinch. "You built that mess on stolen land." He smiled faintly. "We built communities. You just didn't understand how the system works." "Oh, I understand perfectly," she said, placing a small recorder on his desk. "And I think a jury will too." The man's smirk faded. "You shouldn't have come here alone." Anna's eyes glinted. "Who said I did?" Outside, sirens wailed. A fleet of black cars, this time with federal plates, surrounded the building. Hale's confident expression finally cracked. Anna stood up, calm as ever. "Game over, Mr. Hale." But just as the agents entered, Hale leaned in close and whispered, "You stopped me, but not the others." She froze for half a second. "Others?" He smiled darkly. "You've only seen the surface." And in that moment, she realized Karen was just the spark. The real fire was still burning underneath, and it was spreading fast. The agents stormed in, voices sharp, boots echoing across the polished floor. Hale didn't resist, he just smiled as they cuffed him, that smug confidence still lingering like smoke. Anna stood still, watching him being led away, but her mind was racing. "Not the others." The words replayed again and again. Outside, cameras were already flashing. Reporters shouted questions. "Judge Myers, did you expose the Greenfield fraud ring? Is the HOA system collapsing statewide?" Anna didn't answer. She just got into her car and drove off quietly, her face calm but her thoughts burning. When she got home, I met her at the door. "You did it," I said, relief flooding my voice. "It's over." She shook her head slowly. "No, it's not." "What do you mean?" She handed me a folder thinner than before but heavier somehow. "These were in Hale's desk," she said. "Contracts, transfers, every one of them linked to a different HOA across 3 states." I flipped through the pages, the same company name stamped everywhere, Greenfield Development Partners LLC, but the signatures were different, each one tied to a new name. "So they'll just replace him," I said quietly. She nodded. "Exactly. Hale was just one head of a much bigger snake." Before either of us could say more, our front porch lights flickered, then pop, darkness. I moved toward the breaker box, but Anna caught my arm. "Wait!" She walked to the window, pulling the curtain just enough to peek through. A car idled across the street, lights off, engine humming. My chest tightened. "Them again." "Not feds," she whispered, "too quiet." Her phone buzzed on the table, a message from an unknown number. "You should have stopped at Karen." Anna stared at the text for a moment, then looked at me. Her calm was gone now, replaced by something colder, resolve mixed with fire. They want to scare me into silence, she said. They picked the wrong woman. She walked to her study and began typing fast. What are you doing? I asked. Sending everything I have to every state attorney and journalist in the country, she said without looking up. If I go down, the whole network burns with me. Outside, the car engine revved once and then drove away. I exhaled slowly. You think they'll come back? Anna's eyes stayed on the screen. No, she said, they'll run because by tomorrow morning. She hit send, the screen flashing files uploaded successfully. Every American will know exactly what they've been hiding. And as the first rays of dawn broke through the blinds, I realized something. Anna hadn't just ended an HOA scandal. She started a movement. But deep down, I couldn't shake one thought. If Hale was right about the others, what if the real battle hadn't even begun yet?